Well, for those of you who wonder what I've done for 20 years, basically it's a pretty simple job. We have to start with the act, which is known as Alan Jackson or Kenny Chesney. And they're sitting in their little island that they own or their yacht, and they get tired of looking at their third wife, so they say casually, agent. And Magali, the agent, comes out, who's been waiting for this person to do something for a month or three. He says, I want you to give me 20 dates somewhere, and I want to make $20 million. And let me know when you got it put together. And then he goes back to his boat, and then the agent gets all excited because they get 10% of whatever he makes. And so the more money he can make, the better off. So she, instead of just being satisfied with him making 20 million, wants him to make 30 million, because 10% of 30 is better than 20. So that's simple math. So she takes an act that originally sang for $10,000, like when, in reality, when we had Tim McGraw open for Sawyer Brown, and we paid him $10,000. Now he gets $1.5 million in less time, and I didn't get that big an increase in that same period of years, but he did. So she decides that she's going to get $30 million of 10%, but to do that, she has to convince somebody to pay that. So she finds her promoter friends, and this is Police Productions out of Missouri. Nice couple guys, Brad Garrett, Denise, and he's in competition with the big guys, Live Nation, AEG, and everybody else, but he's probably the only one that they can strong-arm enough to agree to take one or two of these dates at say, roughly $3 million, or let's take some number like 300,000. So he
realize I'm happy to beep out any expletives that you normally use in this description.
That's correct, but he says, my God, how can I make that work? So he turns around and he realizes he has to sell that ticket to the fan. Now this is the fan. We don't know who they are mostly, and they have a lot of varied interests. In the summertime, they're at the beach. They're not going to buy a ticket to come in, so we have to have this guy come in the fall. So the fan is sitting over here waiting to buy their ticket, and they don't want to pay more than $10 for a ticket, and he needs $85 for a ticket in order to pay all these people. So how does he get his $85? Well, first thing he's got to do is have some place for this guy to play, and this is called the building. That'd be us. That's what we are. We are at the end of this. We are the tail of this big dog. And our building is in Iowa, Sioux City. It sits here as a beacon in the night, but it's not Chicago, it's not Minneapolis, it's not Los Angeles. And this is all this guy knows. He's never heard of Sioux City, Iowa unless he was in Rapid City at a rodeo one day. So he doesn't care. But he's got to get from Kansas City to Minneapolis or Kansas City to Chicago. So how's he going to get there? Oh, by the way, he doesn't want to drive more than 5 hours or fly more than, so whatever. So this is where he comes in. She says, Brad, if you want 20 dates, I'll give you all 20 dates. Tell me where you're going to route him. Generally speaking, however, he'll only take 4 or 5. So he'll take the Midwest. And so he says, I'll play Kansas City, and then I'll play Sioux City, because I got to get him to eventually Los Angeles, and then I'll play Billings, Montana, and then I'll play Spokane, Washington, and then he'll be in LA. And he says, I'll offer you $300,000. And she says, okay. So now he's got to pay me rent, and he's got to do other things to put him in here. So he'll call me and say, do you have February 12th available for Alan Jackson? And I'll say, love to. Is there anything I can do for you? And he'll say, yeah, you can share the risk with me because we have to pay way too much money for this guy. But otherwise he won't play here, he'll play Sioux Falls. And then I'll say, boy, I don't want to play Sioux Falls. How can we make any money on this? Well, I got to have 6,000 of these people show up and pay $85 a ticket. And that'll just pay him 90%. Take the number, 8,000 times 80,000, and this just pretty much pays him. Then I have all our stagehands that put the stage up, and all these other people I have to pay, he has to pay. So the only way we're going to make any money is this person eats and drinks a lot of food. And then I got to pay a lot of that money too. So we get 7,000 of these people, hopefully, sold tickets. They all march into the Tyson Center. And the first thing I want them to do is buy beer. And so they buy lots of beer. I want this person to buy $13 worth of beer, but I don't want them to get drunk because my police department doesn't want them drunk. My mayor and council don't want them drunk. Their wives don't want them drunk. But I still got to sell them $13 worth of beer. Because when I'm done, if I've sold $60,000 worth of beer to these people, I, or you, the taxpayer, get to keep 38% of that. And that's your profit. Because the rest of the money, she gets her 10%, and she's happy. He gets paid, and he leaves town with money. He gets a part of the money along with us because we agreed to share the risk and the return. So we split money up at the end of the night, and he goes back to Missouri, and I'm sitting here, and then I have a press release the next day telling everybody how wonderful our show was. And then I go to Rotary and the Civic Clubs and explain how this all works, how our stagehands got paid $30,000, how our ushers got paid $4,000 or $5,000, how all the beer I bought from Charlie down at L&L Distributors, he got $60,000 worth of beer he sold, and I got to keep 30% of that. And I'm pretty happy about that because then I take that money and buy a new roof with it. I'm done. I didn't get paid anymore. I'm still making the same money I did 20 years ago when Tim McGraw got his $10,000. But now that I'm retiring, the building at least has got a new roof because of all these people. And that's pretty much the business. Okay? Any questions?